Yes, well, welcome to the March 5th meeting of the Public Council of Conception Bay South. It's great to be back again, and March came in like a lamb on the first, but there was a bit of a lion on the night before, so we'll see at the end of the month what's going to happen. The first thing, of course, we start out with our land acknowledgement, and the land acknowledgement is the town of Conception Bay South would like to respectfully acknowledge the territory in which we gather as the ancestral homelands of the Beothuk and the island of Newfoundland as the ancestral homelands of the Mi'kmaq and Beothuk. We also respectfully acknowledge Labrador as the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Innu of Nitassinan, the Inuit of Nunatsiavut, and the Inuit of Nunatuavut. We strive for respectful partnerships with all the peoples of the province as we search for collective healing and true reconciliation and honor this beautiful land together. Adoption of the meeting agenda for this evening. Do I have a motion? Councillor Barrett, seconded by Councillor Tilley. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Adoption of the meeting minutes from February the 20th. Moved by Councillor Butler, seconded by Councillor Moores. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. And business arising from previous minutes will be dealt with at this meeting and meetings in the future. Visitors, presentations, and petitions. And I'm going to start with Easter Seals Month, and I believe Councillor Rex Hillier, you're going to present this evening.
Yes, Your Worship. Thank you very much. Proclamation, Easter Seals Month. Whereas approximately 100,000 people of all ages in our province live with disabilities, such physical, sensory, cognitive, or other disabilities that present barriers to full participation in society. And whereas Easter Seals Newfoundland and Labrador is a charitable organization with a vision for a community where all people with disabilities live full, healthy, and active lives, a mission to engage, inspire, and maximize opportunities for people with disabilities of all ages by providing meaningful programs and services. Whereas Easter Seals Newfoundland and Labrador's recreation programs help those with disabilities explore what they can do through independence, camps, art and music therapy, and adaptive sports promoting full, active and healthy, socially engaged lifestyles. Whereas Easter Seals Newfoundland and Labrador offers employment and educational services to assist those with barriers to employment in successfully transitioning from home and school into adulthood and independence with a focus on preparing for, obtaining, and maintaining gainful employment. Whereas Easter Seals Newfoundland and Labrador, I Can Too Disability Awareness Program activities foster disability awareness and sensitivity and provide tools for accessibility and inclusion. Therefore, with the support of the town of Conception Bay South, I sign this proclamation and declare the month of March 2024 to be observed through the town as Easter Seals Month. I call upon all citizens of the town to support this worthy charitable organization and the people of all ages and all disabilities it serves. I'll sign this on behalf of the mayor. Your Worship, it's interesting that in our previous meeting prior to this public meeting, we spent some time discussing the development of the town's accessibility plan, which I guess fits some of that work will get started in March, and which, as we see, is Easter Seals Month. So it's very appropriate that we've had that conversation this evening. Thank you very much.
Certainly is, Councillor Hillier, and of course, Easter Seals and other organizations will be consulted as we move forward on that good work. Next is the proclamation, Purple Day for Epilepsy, and I believe we have Tracy Lawrence with us this evening back there, David Pond. I'm not sure if there's anyone else, Tracy. Okay, so you can come up and join me for a moment. We'll let you say a few words, but the proclamation is being delivered this evening by Councillor Shelley Moores. So Councillor Moores, once we get up here, we're wearing purple for epilepsy and for the people we're supporting. So Councillor Moores, go ahead.
Okay. Purple Day for Epilepsy, March 26. Whereas Purple Day is a global effort to promote epilepsy awareness in countries around the world, and whereas Purple Day was founded by 9-year-old Cassidy Megan of Nova Scotia, who wanted to let people know that if you have epilepsy, you are not alone. And whereas epilepsy is a chronic neurological disorder which affects each person differently, estimated to affect more than 10,000 people in Newfoundland and Labrador, over 300,000 people in Canada, and 50 million people worldwide. And whereas 1 in 10 persons will have at least one seizure during their lifetime. And whereas the public is often unable to recognize common seizure types and unable to respond with appropriate first aid. And whereas Purple Day will be celebrated on March 26th annually to increase understanding, reduce stigma, and improve the quality of life for people living with epilepsy throughout the country and globally. Now therefore, be it so resolved that I, Councillor Shelley Moores of Conception Bay South, do hereby proclaim March 26th as Purple Day in an effort to raise awareness and understanding of epilepsy and to support all those who live with seizures each day.
Thank you, Councillor Morris. David, I believe you're here to say a few words.
She pretty well summed up everything that I had here, actually. Right, just that Tracy is the Purple Day ambassador, right, and she encouraged people from around the province to wear purple and support epilepsy awareness, and gives good meaning and focus to this disease in the community.
Perfect. Thank you, David. And of course, awareness is key when it comes to epilepsy and many other things, awareness and education, and we'll all be better served by that. And of course, this proclamation and recognizing epilepsy and for what it is, and the more people that know more about it, the better off everyone will be in our society. So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
And you'll be back again soon for Ken, I suppose, for some reason or other. Hey, just a different colored shirt. Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. Okay, now, proclamation International Women's Day, Deputy Mayor Andrea Goss.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. Proclamation International Women's Day. Whereas International Women's Day is celebrated globally on March 8th with the aim of taking the time to reflect on the contributions women have made and continue to make their communities and countries better places in which to live, work, and grow. And whereas International Women's Day is a time to uphold women's achievements, recognize challenges, focus greater attention on women's rights and gender equality, encourage and mobilize all people to do their part to bring about positive change. And whereas International Women's Day is a time to envision a world where each woman and girl can exercise her choices, such as participating in politics, getting an education, having an income, and living in societies free from violence and discrimination. Whereas the theme of International Women's Day 2024 is to inspire inclusion. People start from different places, so true inclusion and belonging require equitable action. For International Women's Day and beyond, let's all help forge a more inclusive world for women. Therefore, I, Andrea Goss, Deputy Mayor of the town of Conception Bay South, do hereby proclaim March 8th, 2024 to be International Women's Day here in the town of Conception Bay South. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Goss. And of course, the town, we have planned, and I want to thank our women on council for spearheading another International Women's Day event right here in the town. And I don't know if it's appropriate for you to talk about that now, but we can leave that for later if you like.
Yeah, we'll speak about it as we go to our little roundabout.
Now,
this evening.
Deputy Mayor, I understand that under the visitors' presentations and petitions that you actually have a presentation to make. Is that right?
Yeah, just a little presentation, but Councillor Connors is going to speak a little bit first on it before we make the presentation.
Okay. Will he do that now? I wonder.
Yeah, he's going to do
Okay.
that now.
Councillor Connors.
Thank you. I just want to talk about the Shield Games. And I want to congratulate Holy Spirit. I want to senior boys shield. Queenie won the senior girls shield. Villanova won the junior boys. And I think Frank Rabbits won the junior girls. I was there for most of the games. I think I only missed one or two. But I was also there for the alumni game. So this year for the alumni game, we were a little bit late getting off the mark to get started. But we managed to get an under 40 team and an over 40 team. So the under 40 team played first, and Queenie came out flying. They beat the Holy Spirit under 40 team. I think it was 6-1 or 6-2. Geez, I got to give a shout out to Andrew Coates, who hasn't played hockey in a number of years. He was in on all 6 goals, I think. He played a phenomenal game. And then the over 40 came out. And they usually has a fella on the bench who takes care of it, and been around for a number of years coaching that team. And they tried their darnest to come back. So to win the so-called bet every year. But unfortunately, Holy Spirit came up a couple of goals short. So now I'm going to call up on Deputy Mayor Goss to present the to the jersey to Councillor Tilley, who has to wear it at a council meeting.
So
Let's
the
do-
background is I'm a Pioneer and Councillor Tilly is a Falcon. And so we had a little bet on. The loser has to wear the winner's jersey.
Well, let's do
for
that
this
right
meeting.
here at center ice. I think. There you go.
So we're hoping to have Councillor Tilley back behind the bench of Holy Spirit next year to bring the victory back to Holy Spirit.
I'm not going to hit my button. I'm going to leave Councillor Tilley up on the screen for as long as I can. Okay. Perfect. All right. New business, I believe we're up to now, and I just wanted to, on the subject of schools, I suppose, I'll start off this evening. I want to congratulate our neighbors, Town of Paradise, on getting the announcement yesterday for a new high school in that community. And I shouldn't call it a new high school, getting a high school in that community, because that's something that they've never had before. And it's something I think that the growth of the town deserves. But on that note, I just want to say that when I talk about the growth of towns and what I believe and I think council supports is that we deserve is a review of the school system right here in Conception Bay South, from top to bottom, all the schools. We have schools that are bursting at the seams. We have elementary schools that go up to grade 4, junior highs that go from 5 through, I think it's 7, and high schools that go from 8 to 12. And on that note, we're going to reach out to the province to have discussions on our status of our schools in our town and what the way forward would be for them. And I want to just point out, and I'm not sure, Councillor Hillier, I'm not sure if you went to Frank Roberts or its previous incarnation or not, but I know you were up and around that area around that time, probably.
I was the first grade 9 class
There you
at
go.
what was then Queen Elizabeth High School
Yeah, there you go.
in 1985.
Yeah, sure. Not all the way back, but in fairness to in fairness to the people that are in the feeder system for Frank Roberts Junior High, and I know some of them that are currently there have raised concerns and over the past year or 2 or 3 and so forth. But that's a school that was built was built at the height of the Vietnam War. The Beatles were still making records. We hadn't gotten anybody on the moon. And the first Trudeau prime minister was just barely elected. when that school was built. And it's a school that has housed anywhere from 400 to 700 students on an annual basis. That's 400 to 700 residents almost daily for 10 months out of the year. So you can imagine the wear and tear on a building like that. And, you know, and we have support parents on their call for a review of Frank Roberts to the point where, you know, upgrades or really in its age replacement, we think would be necessary. And I think also from the cancellation of the new high school in Paradise a few years back came the cancellation of expansion of Villanova Junior High as well. And of course, there has been some things done there since, but you know, I remember when that school opened, it was too small when it opened, and it needed to be bigger in that whole system there. So we'll be reaching out to the province to have hopefully meaningful discussions regarding the school system in Conception Bay South, that we would like a full review of it, and we would like to have see some upgrades and considerations certainly sooner rather than later when it comes to the school system here. I'm going to move on then and back to you, Deputy Mayor, and you can start off new business.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. I'm just going to be short and sweet this evening. Just going to make mention of our International Women's Day event that we're hosting here at the Town Hall. We're hosting an open house from 6:30 to 8, and it's come meet your women of council. And we're going to have a little tour of chambers and talk with your female councilors, share a story about inspiring inclusion, as the theme for this year is Inspire Inclusion. And this is just a free event. Come over, we'll have refreshments. We'll answer any questions, and we're reaching out. We've reached out to schools, students, community groups, anybody who'd like to come along and pop in and join us. Now, in the meantime, there is some pending weather, so we will be watching that tomorrow for the forecast and make a decision sometime tomorrow, because we don't want people to be coming out in bad weather. We want this to be a successful event, and we'd like as many to come out as possible and join us here. The other thing, I'd like to congratulate the Chamber of Commerce, our Conception Bay Area Chamber of Commerce. They have an event coming up on Friday, a sold out event, and for International Women's Day. They have a great panel of speakers, and many of us councillors are attending, and it should be a good day. And again, they too are watching the weather, and will make an announcement tomorrow, so I believe sometime tomorrow, about whether they will have to reschedule or not. So we're all going to be watching the weather. From what the forecast says, we're in for some lovely March weather again. So on that note, we'll just keep a watch, and everybody stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor Hardy.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Just want to echo what Deputy Mayor has said. Hosting an open house. I'm also looking really forward to all the posters and the pictures that are going to be submitted by the students from all the schools. So we have received a couple of pictures already. So everyone seems to be jumping on board and being part of the whole inclusion pose. Also, just a big shout out to all the Special Olympics for Newfoundland and Labrador. We've seen that over the last few days of all the events, the pictures, the families, the welcoming and stuff. So lots of athletes in the town of CBS and in Newfoundland. So just want to do congratulations to everyone involved. Thank you, Mayor Bent.
Thank you, Councillor Hardy. Councillor Moores.
Doing it different tonight. Thank you. I have a couple of things just to elaborate on our International Women's Day event. Of course, we want, you know, many women and our female councillors come up. We also want to have as many of our other fellow councillors attend also. You know, it's meant to be an event for everyone and just support women in politics, et cetera. So all are welcome. And we did receive, this was here when I came in tonight. So we've asked everyone to send in a picture of the inclusion symbol, the pose. So it's like putting your hands in a heart shape. So we've asked people to either send in a picture of themselves doing it or draw a poster. So all the ones we received, we will display in the chamber Thursday during our tour. So it's nice that we already have one. I also want to mention a big congratulations to all participants in the Newfoundland Labrador Winter Games that were in Gander. Team Avalon, which is kids of Conception Bay South, included in all those teams and sports, finished in 3rd place this year with 15 medals. They had 7 gold, 5 silver, and 3 bronze, which I think is a huge accomplishment. So I want to send out a big congratulations to all the athletes. And I will put a little dig in for the boys hockey team who won in overtime. It was a very exciting game. So congrats to them. And last but not least, I just wanted to mention Jackie Morgan. So Jackie Morgan just recently, I guess you would say, resigned from the Downtown CBS board. Jackie has played an integral role, contributing significantly to the success of the Downtown CBS Business Improvement Association. Following council's adoption of the Main Street Improvement Plan in 2013, a Main Street Advisory Group was formed in 2014, of which Jackie was a member. She has served on the Downtown CBS Business Improvement Association Board of Management since its inception in 2015. Her leadership and commitment to advancing downtown CBS has been inspiring. She is a doer, always keen to get things done and continuing to push the agenda forward. While serving as a director on the Board of Management is a voluntary position, Jackie took a lead role on signage, which is the new downtown CBS signage that you will soon see pop up in the coming months, and are largely thanks to Jackie's and along with her sister Christine's efforts and commitment. Her family, including her late father, Clarence J. Morgan, are always at the forefront of contributing at the grassroots level to ensure the town and its business community is vibrant and strong. Jackie has decided to step back from the Board of Management after 9 years of dedicated service, and we would like to recognize her for her tremendous efforts in helping create a vibrant, attractive, and welcoming downtown core. So just a big congratulations to Jackie Morgan. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Morris. Yes, Jackie Morgan has done a fantastic service to the business community, of course, through her family and herself, but the work that she's done on CBS downtown, of course, has been tremendous. I came to council in 2015, and Jackie came to the board around the same time, and I was on that board for a long time as a council rep, and it's just tremendous input, and of course, the depth of knowledge and insight into making things better for the business community, but especially our town overall, is tremendous. So congratulations and thank you to Jackie for her work. She's done her time, and she can move on to other things now for sure. Councillor Butler.
Thank you, Your Worship. I also wanted to congratulate all the athletes at the Newfoundland Labrador Winter Games and also at the 2024 Special Olympics in Calgary. We did have coaches, and we also had participants, and they came home with medals, and I want to congratulate them all. A number of them are from CBS. Just one little Winterfest thing we didn't get done before last meeting, so myself and the mayor and Councillor Hillier were at Heritage Square last week, and we did our bingo duty. So it was a wonderful time, and boy, did they love their bingo, and they loved the prizes. What a great time we had. And lastly, our town of Conception Bay South, our planning department, hosted the first Planners Plate of 2024. Thursday, February 22nd, myself and Councillor Hillier were there, and the Mayor brought greetings. And the special guest was Dale Jarvis of Heritage NL, and it was very interesting to listen to him talk about the way things have gone and how some things like rope making and specialties like that are no longer, there's no one there that can do them, and talking about bringing them back. And, you know, it was really, really interesting. I must say it was great. And I had a fine chat with Dale afterwards because I did his tour many, many years ago. So I thought it was wonderful. And I think the town, Corey, thank you, and staff did a great job of hosting it. And we had a good crowd. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Butler. Councillor Hillier.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just want to take a moment for a couple of things this evening. First of all, I'd like to commend our female councillors on the work that they're doing in preparation for their evening tomorrow evening, and certainly their ongoing focus on promoting gender equity. Also, Your Worship, I'd like to recognise the work done by all our female staff and councillors in making our town a better place to live. Second thing, Your Worship, is a total different end of the spectrum. About 2.5 months ago, I encouraged people to sign up for radon kits, radon test kits, so that we could take them home, and those that did, they were a little black piece. We took them home and laid them down and forgot about them until sometime this week. We're starting to get emails, and it's time to return them. So those who have them, in order for us to get a cross section of the town and what radon looks like in our town, and for people to get individual results for their home, they need to return them. So they put them in an envelope, bring them into the town hall, can drop them off at planning, or can drop them off at the main desk upstairs. Right now, I believe we've got 40 back of 149 that were sent out. So we're well on our way. Thank you, Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Hillier. Do we still have a drop box outside where people can drop them? Yeah, so don't even if you come in the evening or the weekend, you can drop them out front in the drop box, and we'll get them to where they need to be. Thank you, Councillor Hillier. Councillor Connors.
Thank you. You're weaving around today like Connor McDavid or someone in a hockey rink. I'm going to be short and brief tonight. Also wanted to shout out again to the athletes who participated at the Winter Games out in Gander, and of course the athletes that participated at the Olympic or Special Olympics out in Calgary. I don't have a full list of all the participants, but as some people have mentioned, we did bring home some medals, and in sports that were probably here in CBS, like it's only the past couple of years we've had curlers, and we've had a female curling team from Avalon won the silver medal. Right now they're not all from Avalon, but it's from CBS, but it's new sport to CBS. And I also want to say International Women's Day to all my female colleagues, all staff, I guess all women of Conception Bay South. To I guess this is a proper terminology, Happy International Day. So I know there are a number of events planned that will spotlight the many women who define inspiration and have a very positive impact on our social and our cultural, economic, and life here at Conception Bay South, and just makes it a better place for us to live. And that's it for me tonight.
Thank you, Councillor Connors. Councillor Barrett.
Thank you, Your Worship. Also wanted to extend congratulations to all the athletes. I know Councillor Moores mentioned Team Avalon, but congrats to all those folks, and congrats to those that participated in the Special Olympics. I'm sure there was a lot of positive memories made that'll last a lifetime. So we're all very proud of all the contributions that you guys made. We haven't mentioned it in a while, and I think it's an incredible asset. And so I wanted to mention it again. Our library. I find myself there occasionally with my family, especially in the winter where there's not always a lot to do. There's a lot of different programs and services at the library, and I was there over the weekend. It just happened to be at the same time they had a story session for young kids, and there was actually over 30 people in attendance in the room there, which I thought was incredible. Actually, I wasn't aware of the amount that was actually being used, and they're free. All the programs are free, and most don't require any registration. So I just wanted to remind folks about that if you're ever looking for something to do. And last, Your Worship, I couldn't have said your call for our school infrastructure better myself, and just wanted to support the comments you made regarding our educational infrastructure, and looking forward to our ongoing dialogue with the province. That's it. Thanks, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett, and thank you for branching the library. I've been finding myself sharing a lot of the projects that they have ongoing. They seem to have something different for just about every night of the week, I think. But they have some great stuff over there, some one-offs, and then some regular story times and readings and so forth. And just a great spot for to gather and to do things with the family, and or yourself and so forth. If you're students, there's places to plug in or to hook up to the Wi-Fi and quietly do your work and so forth. And I'm really looking forward to the reading garden getting open in the spring. I think it's finished construction there now. I think they're waiting on some chairs, tables, and so forth to get ready in the spring, but that'll be a great addition. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay. Counselor Tilly, have I saved the best for last?
It's awful warm in here.
It isn't
I
it?
can tell you that.
I just wanted you to stew a little bit in
Yeah,
that. That's
I
all.
kind of figured that. Thank you, Worship. I just wanted to expand on one of the subject you talked about the new school in Paradise. Congratulations to the town of Paradise and for council and I guess the government folks and even the volunteer groups who worked day and night to make sure that they got to school in their town. And of course, you know, there's no, we definitely need something replaced with the old Frank Roberts School on Foxborough Bexley Road as well. I had the opportunity to speak to local MHA Barry Penton last night, and rest assured, you know, just because there's an announcement in Paradise for a new high school, that doesn't change his tune as to how desperate we are to have Frank Roberts fully replaced. And he said that he's spoken to the minister on several occasions, and it's still on the burner. So we can certainly hope that in probably the next 2024 budget, you never know, there could be a few extra shackles floating around, and we could probably get our school replaced. As a lot of my fellow councillors said tonight, Thursday is International Women's Day, and I'd just like to say thank you to Andrea, Melissa, Christine, and Shelley for all the work you do. Of course, all of our senior directors and all the ladies who work for the town council. As well, back in December, we had a recognition night for all the former councillors and mayors for the town of Seabest for their 50th anniversary. Unfortunately, we had a few folks who didn't make it. So we're still trying to track down some people with regards to giving them, we have a little token of appreciation, a little medal for the mantelpiece. So for anyone who was in the town, by all means, get in touch with me or any other councillor. Our email addresses are on the internet, and of course a lot of us are on social media. Send us a message and we are going to make every effort to make sure that you do get your little token of appreciation for shaping the town what it is today. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Tilly. I just want to mention a couple of things from the past week or so. Last week, I was very honored to be at Villanova Junior High for their DARE graduation. Of course, DARE is a program run by the RNC through the schools on drug awareness, but it's also been expanded as well to well-being, mental awareness and mental health, which is really good because stress is an issue faced by a lot of students, anxiety and these sorts of things. So a few of the things they've expanded to are tools that students can use to help manage that and help make themselves more prepared for what they're doing and what they're facing as young people. And this year was a great group. They put on a performance that they made themselves. It was truly wonderful, and you can tell that they were inspired by Constable Dowden of the RNC. Did a wonderful job, and you can see that they really took to the messages that she had. And it was great to be there with the parents and the students, and of course, also the Newfoundland Growlers are supporters of the program, and they gave, I believe, all the students in the DARE program tickets to a Growlers game. So it was nice to see that kind of support within the schools and within the program for the DARE program here. And of course, the town, we financially support DARE and believe in its interests. Like everyone else, I want to send out a congratulations to all of the participants from Avalon at the Newfoundland and Labrador Winter Games. And as well, and Councillor Morris, did we win a gold in boys hockey at these games? Do you know anybody? So you might know a young fella on that team that won, but it was great to see, really exciting. And of course, there were lots of medals in Avalon. As you mentioned, we came in third, which is really good. And maybe at a council meeting coming up, we can invite some of our CBS participants and get them in here for a picture and so forth. And I also want a big shout out to the Special Olympics group that went off to Calgary for the Canada Winter Games in Special Olympics. I was at the send-off ceremony they had a week or so ago at the university. And the excitement in that room was tremendous, and the support from businesses and individuals for these athletes was just inspiring. It was wonderful, and it was great to see. And they went off to Calgary to do their best in personal best is always sort of the goal, to have fun, meet friends, but at the end of the day, I think a lot of the things we saw on the internet was a lot of them are coming home to Newfoundland wearing some hardware, and they're really happy about that. I believe the boys hockey team won the bronze at the end, which was great. And I know Nick Stiles from CBS is on that, and was proud to see Melanie Taylor, I believe, got a bronze in figure skating. You can see her full performance on Facebook as well, and many others. And again, hopefully we can get our CBS residents into council and give them a proper congratulations. But it was really good to see that. Speaking of games, I was at the Canada Games 2025 host St. John's, co-host CBS and some others, event this past week where they announced North Star Energy, better known as Orange Store, as the Torch Run sponsors, special sponsors for the games this year. So that's progressing along, and it's good to see that, and a community involvement and the business involvement as well to support the Canada Games. And I know we're going to see more of that as time goes on, as we get ready for August 2025 here in CBS, and of course, most of the Northeast Avalon are involved in that. Seniors Advisory Committee, this past week, myself and the council rep, Christine Butler, with the committee, met with local MHAs to discuss issues of concern to seniors in our town. It was a great discussion back and forth, and it was noted at the meeting it's important for the seniors to be able to speak to all levels of government, and through the committee is something I think council's proud of, that this committee has the ability to do that, to speak to the local MHAs, to speak to government on behalf of seniors in our community. It gives their pointed interest, I guess, a conduit to get their messages through, and I think that's really important. So it was a great meeting we had with MHAs Patton, Din, and Conway Ottenheimer, and looking forward to seeing what comes from that. And just finally, I'm going to make a note of the, and I know a lot's been said already, but the note of the passing of former Prime Minister Brian Mulroney, and our flags are at half staff today, and will be until the 23rd when he has his, when they have the funeral. But the former Prime Minister, had a great impact on Newfoundland and Labrador and Atlantic Canada in a couple of ways that, we're still reaping the benefits of today. Atlantic Accord, and of course, ACOA, where we see a lot of our funding. These were, especially ACOA, was a forethought thing that I'm not sure that even the government of the day could have seen how important it was for Atlantic Canada going forward. And here we are, I guess almost 40 years later, it's still going strong and is still an important and vibrant part of our community. And I was a young fellow getting interested in politics back in 1983 when he won his convention over Claude Wagner. And I think most Newfoundlanders and Labradorians remember it as his win over John Crosby. But Crosby went out a little bit before the end, and he defeated Wagner, and then went on to win the largest majority in Canadian history. And I won't go on any more about that, because everybody has their own memories of that. But I think it's important to note here this evening the passing of the former Prime Minister. That is it from me. So let's get on to the people's business and recommendations of the Planning and Development Committee. And the chair is Councillor Gerard Tilley in that wonderful, cool jersey.
Thank you, Your Worship. The following are the recommendations of our Planning and Development Committee held on February 26th. Item 6A, 150 Cherry Lane. I have to declare a conflict of interest in that, as I have a family relative who lives in close proximity, and their property could be adversely affected by this. So I'll hand it over to Councillor Hillier.
Yes, Your Worship, number 150 Cherry Lane. Be it so resolved that application number 3657 received on February 8th, 2024 for the renovation of a dwelling at 150 Cherry Lane, including a proposed deck on the northwestern side of the dwelling be approved. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Butler, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 6B, 16 Parent Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with sections 5.16 and 10.11.3 of the town's development regulations, that application number 3667 received on February 13th, 2024 for the development of a single dwelling at 16 Parents Road be refused in consideration that the proposed lot and dwelling would have no frontage on a street constructed to municipal standards. So moved.
Is there a seconder? Councillor Hilliard, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship. Unfortunately, this proposal does not meet with the town's regulations. The property owner applied to build a house on the rear portion of the property. And of course, in order to approve this type of development, the new house would need to have frontage onto a public road. And getting additional frontage on this property looks to be impossible given the width of the property and the placement of an existing dwelling. The proposal would equate to backlot development, which is not permitted in our town.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 6C, number 2, Guillen's Drive. Be it so resolved that in accordance with section 5.15 of the town's development regulations, that application number 3354 received on September 28th, 2023 to develop a single dwelling at number 2 Guillen's Drive be approved. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Morris, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship.
Go ahead.
Yes, Your Worship, this lot was approved by the town prior to the implementation of the current municipal plan and development regulations, and it also has frontage onto Topsail Road.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 6D, 24 Jones Lane. Be it so resolved that in accordance with section 5.15 of the town's development regulations, application number 3662 received on February 13th, 2024 to develop a single dwelling at 24 Jones Lane be approved. So moved.
Seconder, Deputy Mayor Goss. Discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, although this has no frontage onto a public road, this property has been a residential lot since before the town was incorporated. The property is subject to a right-of-way that provides access. The lot is essentially grandfathered in, and the owner is in the process of removing the original house, and we're building a new home in the particular area.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 6E, number 142 Greeleytown Road. Be it so resolved that resolution number 24-039 be rescinded. And further, be it so resolved that in consideration of Council Resolution 19-385 and Section 6.4 of the Provincial Department of Conservation and Climate Change Policy on floodplain management, that application number 3484 received on November 7, 2023 for the redevelopment of 142 Greeleytown Road with a new single dwelling be approved on condition that the development comply with Section 6.05 of the Provincial Department of Conservation and Climate Change Policy on floodplain management. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hardy, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, we met with property owners at a recent committee meeting and reviewed the context of council's approval of the Steady Brook Stormwater Management Plan and determined that subject to provincial approval and confirmation that the new dwelling will not negatively impact other properties with any changes in potential stormwater flows. So we're able to approve redevelopment of the property with a new house, even though it's within the 100 flood risk area and flood risk buffer.
Any further discussion? It's always good when we can work with the resident to come
Yep.
to a successful conclusion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 6F.
Excuse me, Councillor Tilly, I got to declare a conflict on this as I have a relative who is involved with that business.
Item 6F, 1440 Conception Bay Highway. Be it so resolved that under the authority of Section 16 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, the town of Conception Bay South adopts Conception Bay South Municipal Plan Amendment Number 32, 2024, and Development Regulations Amendment Number 51, 2024. And further, be it so resolved that under Section 19 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, Mr. George Trainer be appointed as Commissioner to hold a public hearing and complete a report respecting Municipal Plan Amendment Number 32, 2024, and Development Regulations Amendment Number 51, 2024. And further, be it so resolved that a public hearing regarding Conception Bay South Municipal Plan Amendment Number 32, 2024, and Development Regulations Amendment Number 51, 2024, be held at 7 p.m. on April 4, 2024, at the CBS Town Hall, and that should the town receive no submissions up to 2 days before the scheduled date, the public hearing will be cancelled. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hardy, discussion.
Yes, Your Worship, Council recently held a public information session on this proposed rezoning and determined that most of the concerns raised were about the rezoning process itself rather than the consequences of the proposed changes. The rezoning will allow the property owner who has operated a business at the property for more than 50 years to solidify the future of the business by building a new maintenance facility. We asked Municipal Affairs for input for the proposed rezoning, and they indicated no concerns. We'll now schedule a formal public hearing with a commissioner who is independent from council. The commissioner will report back to council, and we will make that report publicly available before we make any further decisions.
Any further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 6G, 1496 Conception Bay Highway. Be it so resolved that under the authority of Section 23 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, Conception Bay South Municipal Plan Amendment Number 31, 2024, and Development Regulations Amendment Number 50, 2024, be approved as adopted. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Butler. Discussion.
And of course, similar to the previous file, we recently scheduled a public hearing with an independent commissioner. And whereas there were no submissions, the hearing did not proceed, and we're now recommending that the rezoning be approved. The file now goes back to Municipal Affairs for registration, so it can take legal effect. And once it takes legal effect, the property owner can submit their application to subdivide the property and build a new house.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 6H, to number Civic number 2, Civic number 10, Buckley's Path. Be it so resolved that under the authority of Section 16 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, and the town of Conception Bay South adopts the Conception Bay South Municipal Plan Amendment Number 33, 2024, and Development Regulations Amendment Number 53, 2024. And further, be it so resolved that under authority of Section 19 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, Mrs. Marie Ryan be appointed as Commissioner to hold a public hearing and complete a report respecting the Municipal Plan Amendment Number 33, 2024, and the Development Regulations Amendment Number 53, 2024. And further, be it so resolved that a public hearing regarding Conception Bay South Municipal Plan Amendment Number 33, 2024, and Development Regulations Amendment Number 53, 2024 be held at 7 p.m. on April 10th, 2024 at the Town Hall, and that should the town receive no written submissions up to 2 days before the scheduled date, the public hearing will be cancelled. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hardy, discussion.
Yes, Your Worship, Council recently held a public information session on the proposed rezoning and determined that most of the concerns were about uncertainty that sometimes companies change and the perceived impacts of 2 small apartment buildings, their existing homes. Council is confident that the apartments which will be targeted to the seniors market will not create any neighborhood concerns. We've asked Municipal Affairs for input on the proposed rezoning, and they have indicated no concerns. We'll now schedule a formal public hearing with the Commissioner who is independent from Council. The Commissioner will report back to Council, and we will make that report publicly available before we make any further decisions.
Any further discussion? Turn myself off. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Item number 6I, number 10 Perrins Road. Be it so resolved that the January 24th, 2023 order concerning 10 Perrins Road be rescinded in consideration that the compliance has been achieved. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Butler, discussion.
Yes, Your Worship, 10 Perrins Road and the next one, 102 Porters Road, are just a couple of orders that were issued to property as property owners comply with orders, and we no longer need to have these orders in place. And this is an administrative and housekeeping item only.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Item 6J, number 102 Porters Road. Be it so resolved that the August 21st, 2021 order concerning 102 Porters Road be rescinded in consideration that compliance has been achieved. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Morris, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And Your Worship, before I leave or read the blanket recommendation, I'm just going back and forth on my screens. I think Councillor Hillier mentioned this at the beginning. One was the radon testing program is now finishing up. And of course, any residents that have radon detectors provided by the town can return those detectors to the town so they can be analyzed, and the town won't see the individual test results, but we will have a general understanding of the prevalence of radon in the community. And we had well over, I believe it was 150 people sign up, and we got, I think, 1/3 of those back. So we kindly ask those residents who have those, they get them back as quickly as possible. So the blanket recommendation. Be it so resolved that the discussion and decisions of the February 26, 2024 Planning and Development Committee meeting be accepted as presented. So moved, with the following discussions noted.
Seconder. Deputy Mayor Goss, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And that's it from the Planning and Development world.
Thank you, Councillor Tilly. I think that it was a great night for you to wear the red sweater, given the length and the number of the recommendations you had to read. Very timely. Recommendations of the Engineering and Public Works Committee. Chair is Councillor Melissa Hardy.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. It's a good shirt. It's a nice shirt. 7A, approval to purchase EV cargo van. Screen's just moved, sorry. Be it so resolved that approval to be given to purchase a 2024 Ford Transit EV cargo van from Avalon Ford at a cost of $81,170.49 plus HST. Funds are available in the capital fleet account. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Barrett, discussion.
Just part of our capital fleet replacement. A lot of our fleet vehicles right now are past their replacement date. So I have 6 of these this evening, so they're all in the similar circumstances.
Is this our first EV purchase?
Oh, sorry, yes. So the EV cargo van, and we also have a compact SUV. So it's going to be 2 new ones to our fleet, which are very exciting. One is going to be used, I'm pretty sure, by our recreation staff. Our compact one I'll discuss in a second. And our cargo one, I think, is for the humane services. So these 2 specific vehicles, I think, will be a real good addition to the town, especially where, they're certainly traveling a fair bit. And it's also good for the environment. So looking forward to seeing them.
Could I make a few comments? Yeah. So I'm excited about this too. I mean, people around the room are laughing at me, but as an owner of 2 EVs myself, I can say I think it's exciting, and I think when we look at the numbers, we're at the point now where the sticker price is competitive with combustible engines. But even aside from that, I mean, EVs are less than half the cost for maintenance. Obviously, well, there's no gas, and the charge for energy from electricity is a lot more affordable. And based on my understanding of the types of vehicles we need, I believe these would be great fits. And so I'm excited, and I think it's a great fit for the town. I'm happy we are at the point where we can get some EVs in our fleet.
Yes, I have to say, it's great to be able to give this a go and not only just with one type of vehicle, but different types of vehicles so we can see their performance and we can be able to judge it from there. Because if it's something that works out well, then it's for the cost of maintenance these days on a lot of the parts, like Councillor Barrett said, I mean, cost of maintenance is incredible that we've had to suffer with a lot of things that we have on the road, and we're seeing it now, especially in the wintertime when you get vehicles out there and get using them. So, but these vehicles here now, if the cuts down on the maintenance, cuts down the gas, will certainly be in a good stead going forward. So it's really positive, I think, to see us go into this venture now for the first time in the town's history, purchasing EV vehicles and seeing where it goes into the future. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. You got a few of these coming up, don't you?
We do, yes. 7B, approval to purchase EV compact SUV. Be it so resolved that approval is given to purchase a 2023 Chevrolet Bolt EUV from Hickman Motors Limited at a cost of $42,670.56 plus HST. And again, funds will be available in our capital fleet account. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Butler, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
7C, approval to award tender 2402, our 3/4 ton 2x4 crew cab pickup trucks. Be it so resolved that approval is given to award tender 2402, purchase of 2 3/4 ton crew cab 2x4 pickup trucks from Avalon Ford at a cost of $66,987.12 per unit plus HST. And again, the funds are available in our capital fleet account. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Moores, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
7D, approval to award tender 2403, half-ton 4x4 regular cab pickup trucks. Be it so resolved that approval is given to award tender 2403, purchase of 5 half-ton regular cab 4x4 pickups from Hickman Motors Limited at a cost of $52,061 per unit plus HST, and funds are available in our capital fleet account. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Connors, discussion. It's good that these vehicles, Councillor Connors?
Great price on trucks.
Mm.
We're just happy that they're available again. We went so long, we've got some that are very long in the tooth now that we're replacing, and that's why we're at this now. Some of these would have been replaced last year, the year before, but of course we were stuck, couldn't get them. So
Yeah.
it's finally good to be able to upgrade the fleet and get back into our fleet replacement program again.
Absolutely. And even some of these replacement vehicles, the deals were good so that we actually went with a different style because it was a better price, a bigger vehicle, which is always good.
Better price is always good.
Absolutely. 7E, approval to award tender 2404, one new single axle dump truck with a plow. Be it so resolved
I'm
that.
sorry, Councillor Hardy, I'm not sure we approved the last one yet.
Oh, we did.
I think we had discussion. I'm not sure I called for a vote.
Oh,
For the 5,
sorry.
all
Go
in
ahead.
favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Sorry, I took the silence as we did it.
No,
My
it's
apologies.
okay. There's a lot there.
7E, approval to award tender 2404, one new single axle dump truck with plow. Be it so resolved that approval is given to award tender 2404, purchase of one new single axle dump truck with plow to Royal Freight Line at a cost of $315,959 plus HST. And again, funds are available in the capital fleet account. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Butler, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Okay. 7F. Approval to purchase 3/4 ton 4x4 crew cab pickup truck. Be it so resolved that approval is given to purchase one 3/4 ton crew cab 4x4 pickup truck from Hickman Chevrolet at a cost of $71,561 plus HST, and funds are available in the capital fleet account. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Connors, discussion.
It's the last one for this evening.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
7G, Calagurus River Stormwater Management Plan. Be it so resolved that approval is given to engage Englobe to enter into a prime consultant agreement at a cost of $77,510, including HST for the Calagurus River Stormwater Management Plan. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Connors. All in favor? Sorry. I'm going to call for discussion first.
Yes, your worship,
Yeah.
this is I know earlier in the year, we did a rezoning process for the area along Calagurus River, and there were a significant number of residents from Redbridge Road who their one big concern was water runoff and the impact that it would have on their properties and flooding and so on along the river. So to see this come through this evening, it's nice to be able to make a promise and see it kept for those people who are really concerned.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, I'll just want to echo what Councillor Hillier just said. Like, this Redbridge Road over the past number of years, or 10 or 15 years, has had flooding issues, and residents have been asking for it to be looked at. And this study will help us to try to determine and look at solutions for the area, or provide solutions. We'll see what the report says. So I'm very pleased to see this come through, because a lot of residents have reached out and talked to me about it.
Councillor Tilly, I think you and I have stood in the backyard up to almost our knees in water a couple of times.
That is correct. I remember that unfaithful Saturday morning. On a good day, the river is probably about 200 feet away. But this particular morning, the gentleman's property, the shed was underwater. And his shed is a fair distance from the river. So, it's just to echo Councillor Hillier's comments, it's good to see that when we make a promise that we're going to address or at least study the issue to see exactly what's happening in that area. And those residents are certainly going to be happy that the ball is certainly rolling now, and we look forward to getting the results back from Englobe.
Any further comments on this before we vote? Just want to note that this is, and I'm happy to see our unofficial environmental watchdogs in the back of the room, Brad Strang, and I'm sure, Brad, you welcome this sort of look into the environmental effects of things that could happen in the future, and hopefully rectifying some of the things that may be ongoing. So if there's no other comments, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you.
7H, 2024 water and sewer upgrades, the sewer pumping stations. Be it so resolved that approval is given to engage Atkins Realis and enter into a prime consultant agreement at a cost of $162,771, including HST, for the 2024 water and sewer upgrades sewage pumping stations. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hillier, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And just before I read the blanket recommendation here this evening, just want to remind folks, the snow is pretty much gone right now, so it's a great opportunity to go in onto our town's website and to report a pothole. I know it might be only a few days that we can actually take care of it with the impending weather coming. But certainly if the town staff have the ability, it'll certainly address any, because I know there are some major potholes in the town. And I guess to the other end of the spectrum, there is some weather apparently coming in the next few days. So our town is certainly staffed up for it, and we are in really good shape. But just remind all of the residents just to be patient with our snowplow operators and our staff. If we are getting the amount of weather that is being called for, this will probably be the most snow we've had this winter in a short amount of time again. So certainly, as more information comes out, just follow us on our social media platforms as well as our town page. We'll keep residents updated. Okay. Be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions of the Engineering and Public Works Committee held on February 28th, 2024 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Moores. Any further discussion? I'm just glad the snow melted so I could find my shovel. So be ready for the next one.
You'll need it for
Yeah,
Friday.
that's right. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Recommendations of Recreation and Leisure Services, Chair Counselor Josh Barrett.
Thank you, folks. This one will be a bit shorter than planning and engineering now that Councillor Hardy has spent all of our money. So recommendations of the Recreation and Leisure Services Committee. 8A summer day camp busing 2024. Be it so resolved that approval be given to call a request for quotes for busing services for Camp Kaleidoscope and Camp Adventure for the summer program of 2024. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Butler. Discussion.
Yes, Your Worship, this is something we do every year for our summer programming, and we're just issuing another tender here now just to see the price of these services for the summer.
Yes, and after Counselor Hardy's update, it's good to be talking about summer again.
Yes, that's right.
Any other comments? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
And the last thing, Your Worship, is just a blanket recommendation, the 8B Recreation and Leisure Services Committee report. Be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions of the Recreation and Leisure Services Committee meeting of February 27th, 2024 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Morris, discussion.
Yes, Your Worship, I just wanted to say you can look at the minutes, and there's a few items we were discussing there. We are just again moving beyond the winter into the spring and eventually the summer, knock on wood, and chatting about some of the upcoming initiatives that we'll be hosting in the town. And I am optimistic during the next council meeting I'll have some more details about some of those exciting things.
Yeah, and I think we're looking for people for soiree committee. Is that still ongoing?
That's correct. We have a call out now for the soiree committee until March 11th. Everybody knows soirees are a big summer festival, and so please, if you're interested in being a part of that, you'll see me there in those meetings, and I'd love to work with residents to come up with some activities and events that we can do in July this year.
And I think the Trailway Half Marathon champion by Counselor Moores is on the agenda. I think that's for September, is it not? Is that right?
It's for September. Yeah, we're just trying to fine tune a couple logistical things, but that is our half marathon race. We're very optimistic about that. And we're just trying to dot the I's, cross the T's prior to publicly announcing that date.
Yeah, that's about a half marathon longer than I want to run, but that's good.
Seal Cove to Topsail Elementary. So
There you go.
Half marathon or rib fist.
That's right. You're the best 9 penny in a week.
best of both worlds.
Okay. Any other comments on the committee report? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you, Councilor Barrett. Recommendations of the Financial and Administrative Services Committee. As the chair is Deputy Mayor Goss.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. Recommendations of the Financial and Administrative Services Committees. The first item 9A is accounts payable checks. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay accounts payable checks totaling $208,876.74 as per the attached listing. So moved.
Seconder, Councilor Butler, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9B, manual checks. Be it so resolved that approval be given to ratify the payment of manual checks totaling $530,964.52. So moved.
Seconder, Councilor Morris, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Direct payments register. Be it so resolved that approval be given to ratify direct payments totaling $728,746.62. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Tilly, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9D is capital invoice approval. Let's see. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay capital invoices totaling $24,482.42 as per the attached report. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Connors, discussion?
It's just a couple of invoices there regarding for engineering and project management.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9E, 2017 to 2020, multi-year capital works funding amendment. Be it so resolved that we, the ultimate recipient, the town of Conception Bay South, accept the 17-20 multi-year capital works cost share funding amendment as outlined in the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure letter dated February 13th, 2024. Available funds will be reallocated from completed capital projects to project 17 multi-year capital works 22 00023 to street upgrading.
Seconder, Counselor Tilly, discussion?
This was some funds left over from our previous capital projects under the multi-year capital works projects, and we're got permission to transfer them over to our street upgrading program.
Well, we're not giving it back. Gotta
Nope.
use it somewhere.
There's always somewhere to use a
All
little
in
bit of
favor?
extra money.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9F 2020-2023 multi-year capital works funding amendment. Be it so resolved that we, the ultimate recipient, the town of Conception Bay South, accept the 2023 MYCW cost shared funding amendment as outlined in the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure letter dated February 13th, 2024. Available funds will be reallocated from completed capital projects to project 17 MYCW 22 00023 street upgrading. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Hillier, discussion?
Just like the other one. It's just from the 2023 year in multi-year capital works, some funding that was left over that we're transferring. We've got permission to transfer over
Yes, we are.
to the current
Oh.
year.
All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
And 9G is our Financial and Administrative Services Department report. Be it so resolved that the decisions and recommendations of the Financial and Administrative Services Committee meeting held on February 26, 2024 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Butler, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Recommendations of Economic Development and Tourism. Chair is Counselor Christine Butler.
Thank you, Your Worship. Recommendations and decisions made at Economic Development and Tourism Committee meeting of February 27th. First recommendation is 10A. Be it so resolved that approval be given to amend the contribution agreement from ECOWAS Canada Community Revitalization Fund to accept an additional $82,651. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Hardy, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship. ECOWA had provided funding through their Canadian Community Revitalization Fund in 2022 in support of the Trailway Phase 4 project totaling $100,000. A subsequent request to ECOWA seeking additional funds due to increasing project costs was recently approved, and therefore the contribution agreement needed to be amended. The contribution from ECOWA will now total $182,651, which constitutes 18% of the project, and reduces the town's cost to $138,000, which is 9% of the total project cost. That's wonderful.
You squeezed $82,000 more out of them. That's
I did,
fantastic.
yeah.
Good job, Counselor Butler.
There you go.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
And before I read the blanket recommendation, a couple of things I wanted to mention. First off, an update on the 50th anniversary business recognition. The Legacy Project, which we initiated in 2023 as part of our 50th anniversary celebration, has been overwhelmingly successful and will be continued in the coming years. We would love to hear from any business who would like to be recognized as part of this program to reach out to staff. We are already working on some profiles for this year and look forward to celebrating them. I also wanted to give an update on the Savor CBS Planning Committee. Earlier this year, we had made a public call for committee members for our Savor CBS Festival taking place October 1st to 4th, 2024. We have had excellent response and have a top-notch group that will be coming together in the coming weeks to start to plan events. Representing council will be Deputy Mayor Goss, Councillors Moore and Councillors Tilley, and thank you very much for doing that. And our blanket recommendation, be it so resolved that recommendations and decisions made at the Economic Development and Tourism Committee meeting of February 27, 2024 be accepted as presented, and you'll see the list there, what was discussed. So moved.
Seconder, Deputy Mayor Goss. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you, Councillor Butler. Other committee reports. I see the naming committee has come up on tonight's agenda. Who is the person speaking tonight on the naming committee? I see a reluctant red shirt there. Councillor Tilley, back to you again.
What a night to volunteer for that.
It's Councillor Tilley, do everything night. Good thing you got that shirt on.
Yes, Your Worship, item 11A, self, a couple of other councillors, we are on the naming committee for the town of CBS. So we had I guess, an application for naming of some new streets in Conception Bay South. So be it so resolved that Redley Place and Luna Place be approved as the street names for the proposed subdivision at 160, 180 Spruce Hill Road. And further, be it so resolved that Emily Place be approved as a street name for phase 8 of the Lawrence Pond Estates subdivision. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Barrett. Discussion.
Yes, Your Worship, I guess some people may wonder where do we come up with these names? And of course, potential developers, they actually submit names and we then take them back to our committee. And of course, one of the big hoops is that they got to meet the criteria for NL 911 services. So once we get the green light from those folks, it's just a rubber stamp of approval for street names in Conception Bay South.
Perfect. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you, Councillor Tilley. Now for other committee reports, are there any other committees, council serving on the reporting this evening?
Yes, Your Worship, sat in on the Conception Bay South Tourism Committee meeting held earlier this week. There were about 15 people involved, various areas of tourism, from business people to interest groups to professionals in the business. Some of the things we talked about Newfoundland and Labrador .com listings, and I believe last year we had 40 businesses here in the town listed in the provincial catalog. And just want to remind those that time is coming due to relist for this coming summer. We talked with Savor CBS, as Councillor Butler did. I believe their first meeting is on March 13th. I believe that's that was the date that was mentioned. We had a look at the tourism maps that we leave around various businesses. Those need to be updated somewhat, and so we spent some time with those. And we spent some time in a brainstorming session talking about some of the things we need to look at in terms of improving tourism in Conception Bay South. And from there, we're looking at filling 3 subcommittees. They will involve events, marketing, and product development. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Hillier. Yeah, and the .com registry from the province is really, really beneficial to businesses. Encourage all businesses, if they haven't reached out, to do so. Our economic development department can help with that, and we encourage you to get on board. Takes a few minutes to make sure that your online stuff's up to date, but I think it goes a long way because that's where people are looking for things for sure. Any other committees tonight? Nope. Okay. That appears to be it. So we'll be back here again for another meeting on March the 19th. So if that's everything tonight, I'll call for a motion for adjournment. Counselor Tilly wants to adjourn, seconded by Counselor Moores. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you and good night.